the only way that we see anything in this world is because it's a combination of shadow and light. So you have to pick a light source. So I'm going to make my light source over here. Just a couple of lines will do it. So that means the light is coming from the upper right side. Now that means on the opposite side of the sphere is what we're making. On the opposite side is going to be the darkest shadow. That means that the shadow on the floor, where the sphere's sitting, is going to be the darkest. So we'll start on the left side and then start on the left side, and then you're going to work your way towards the lighter side. So we'll start dark. It's easier if you start dark and go light. So I'm just going to start shading in a curve. And then I'm going to let up on my pencil a bit with the pressure and start taking away some of the pressure so it's a little lighter. A little lighter. So always shading in this kind of curved. And then I'm going to take a little more pressure off. And then I'll leave in a little more. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to give it a little bit more on the darker side. I'm just going to leave a little space at the end because when you have an object sitting on a table and there's light, will be a little bit of reflective light, so it will catch a little this little edge right here. You will have that, so it defines it a little bit better. So leave a little space. Don't cover the whole thing in. That's at the top. At the top right of this cube, I'm going to make a diagonal line back, like that, and then connect it. That's a basic cube. Not correct in perspective, but good enough. Okay, then I'm going to change.
Can I leave mine like this?
It's fine. That's a cube. And I'm going to choose my light source, which is going to be on the top right. So which side is going to be the lightest on this cube? Would it be
The top one.
1, 2, or 3?
1.
Timo.
1.
1. Yes, 1 would be the lightest. So then, what would be the darkest then? I had 1, 2, and 3.
2.
Raise your hand, thanks. Elissa? 2. Yes, 2 would be the darkest, and then 3 would be kind of in between. So you want to, on number 2, I'm going to erase it now, we're going to go the darkest, and just fill that in. Just bring it right to the corners, although on the bottom of the cube, you might want to leave a little bit of reflective space. So that'll separate the cube from the shadow that we're going to... Oh, you know what we didn't do in the sphere is we didn't make a shadow. That's a mistake. But we'll go back to the sphere after. And then, so I'm going to let up on my pressure a little bit, and I'm going to get a gray. Well, there we go. So not a dark, dark, not a light, but a little gray for the, and it's going to be darker towards the back of the cube, or actually what's closest to us. It's going to be darker, and a little bit lighter in the front. A little bit lighter closer to the light source, rather. Okay, and then if you really want to be accurate, you can do a little light shade on top towards the further away from the light source. But then you want to do the shadow from the cube. So the shadow is going to be on the floor. It's going to be on the floor of where the cube is sitting, opposite from the light. And then it's also going to taper. It's going to get smaller as it goes away from the cube. So it would be like something like this. So it gets skinnier as you go away from the cube. And I'm going to go ahead and fill in. But I'm going to darken as much as I can.
Mine looks like it has a leak.
So you're connecting it to here. You see what you made the mistake. You want to connect it to the bottom, not to the side. So these two diagonals are going to connect to the bottom. On with the pyramid, which I'm going to start with one triangle. But the triangle is not going to be facing straight on. It's going to have a diagonal. And then I'm going to make another diagonal and then connect. And then make the ground it sits on. And then I'm going to make the light source on the other side this time. So start with one line at a time. Start with the tallest line. What I'm going to do is a cylinder. So we'll start with the oval up top. That wasn't a very good oval. There. Good enough. And then I'm just going to drop a vertical on both sides, left and right side. And then I'm just going to connect. So the thing with cylinders is that you're going to look at this part of the curve right here on the top oval, and I want to do the exact same curve that's on the top, make that on the bottom. Yeah.
Like a can.
So it looks like a can. Okay, so this one's a little tougher because there's a lot more gradation of from dark to light, kind of like with the sphere. So you're going to start. I'm going to make the light source over here on the left and on the top. So top left, and so the top is obviously going to be the lightest, and then the right side is going to be where I'm going to need the darkest shadow. So just take it a little bit at a time. You don't have to try and fill in the whole cylinder all at once. And then just back off the pressure on your pencil and you'll get it a little lighter. And then a little lighter. Ah! Should be using my stylus. And then I'm going to go even lighter. Oops. And we're not looking for perfection with any of that. This is just getting us started with the idea of shading in shapes to give it some form. All right, and then go ahead and add in the shadow. And again, it kind of tapers as it goes away from the cylinder. That means it gets smaller as it goes away. And then just fill it in. And that's it.